These are tiny cave-dwelling animals, smaller than a grain of rice. Although small in stature, they play a big role in restoring a cave habitat, which in turn saves taxpayer dollars, decreases flooding, and replenishes drinking water. Biologists find these spiders and beetles underground in dark caves. But how did these small animals living in the dark get into the spotlight? This happened when people recognized the chance to seize an unconventional solution. This story begins with the Texas Department of Transportation's objective to balance the need to reduce congestion on state highways while minimizing impacts to surrounding natural resources.
One of the things that we do is we take care of our natural resources. We make sure that our projects, if they're going to have impacts, that they're minimal.
The Texas highway infrastructure grows to keep pace with development and to improve safety. San Antonio's west side is rapidly expanding where State Loop 1604 and State Highway 151 meet. At the intersection, highway lanes were added and a direct connect ramp was constructed to keep traffic flowing. Like other developments in San Antonio, this construction impacted the porous limestone, the bedrock of Central Texas. Limestone filters and transfers rainwater to aquifers and springs. Water filtering through the limestone over the past 20 million years created caves and channels known as karst features. These landforms are homes to animals like bats, wildcats, and tiny invertebrates, such as spiders and beetles. At the site of the highway construction, invertebrates on the endangered species list were found living underground inside the limestone karst features.
The ones that are here are only in a small area in San Antonio.
So in order to deliver projects, we also have to provide mitigation under current federal and state laws.
To mitigate for impacts to endangered karst species, the highway intersection was built above ground. To offset for unavoidable impacts, the TxDOT San Antonio district got creative. The same endangered invertebrates found at the highway construction site were known to live in a nearby cave.
Clear.
This inspired an unusual process in which TxDOT purchased the cave to offset for impacts to the endangered karst species at the construction site.
Wow, oh, that's interesting.
This was the first time TxDOT purchased property in a residential area for highway mitigation.
It is a shift in how TxDOT has mitigated, but we don't want to be the landholders, and that's why we partner with entities like Texas Cave Management Association.
The property was deeded to the association.
Texas Cave Management Association is a nonprofit organization that exists to acquire, protect, and manage caves in Texas. And we promote research and education and facilitate access to the caves that we work with.
It's about fostering stewardship, specifically of the natural resources of the state.
This cave has a lot of different things that make it even more important than usual. First of all, it's hydrologically important. It drains a huge area in this neighborhood.
So this cave takes a whole lot of water into it during those heavy rainfall events, and that water is going down through the cave and into the passages.
Caves are nature's plumbing system. They're the natural pipes going to the aquifer.
Very important here in the Edwards Plateau that we protect these areas that are receiving that rainfall and recharging the aquifers that we depend on for our drinking water. And those species that are in there give us an indication that that's a healthy environment.
So if we can monitor the cave critters, the cave invertebrates, then we can see sort of how these impacts on the surface are impacting the caves, which ultimately is impacting the whole system underground, which eventually makes it to the groundwater.
Monitoring and restoration may encourage bats to return to this cave known as the Wurzbach Bat Cave.
At one time, it had 20 to 40,000 bats roosting here in the summer months. Cavers actually bought this property to protect the cave, and they tried putting gates on there, but people were breaking in through the gates even. Eventually, they built these huge, big concrete and steel structures on the entrances, which kept the people out, but it also kept the bats out. TxDOT bought this and paid for some restoration work. All 4 entrances here on this property now have bat-friendly gates, and so we are just waiting to see if the bats will ever re-find the cave and recolonize this.
Purchasing this land as an offset for highway construction hit all the marks.
Seeking out our own mitigation side, we drastically reduced the cost of mitigation. So we saved taxpayers a lot of money. It was a challenging project, and it was rewarding because we're preserving habitat. It's not going to be disturbed. It's going to stay like this forever.
Inspired innovation from a tiny cave-dwelling spider.